Who wants to see me do my best SpongeBob laugh? That's pretty bad. The first SpongeBob SquarePants game, Legend of the Lost Spatula, released on the Game Boy Color all the way back in 2001, nearly 20 years ago, which is pretty crazy to think about now. And a countless number of games starring our favorite yellow sponge have released on other Nintendo platforms since then. From platformers to kart racers to even a title for the U-Draw tablet that came out all the way back on the Wii. But none of those managed to captivate players the way that this one did. On the surface, one could look at SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom and think it's another run-of-the-mill standard 3D platforming collectathon, especially when you look at all of the other licensed cartoon siblings that released around that era. But its unadulterated love for the source material, unique ideas, and solid platforming have earned it the cult following that it has today. And the team over at THQ Nordic and Purple Lamp Games have found a way to reignite that spark, that flame for SpongeBob, while also simultaneously celebrating one of SpongeBob's greatest adventures ever. I'm Zion from Nintendo Life, and today I'm going to do my best job to try and figure out and explain why exactly the world loves SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom so much, and why you should keep your eyes peeled on the brand new Rehydrated remake that's coming to Switch. And just so everyone is aware, I have never, ever played the original Bikini Bottom on GameCube, Xbox, Game Boy, nothing. Never played it at all. So I have absolutely no nostalgia for this game either. But I will say that I have played quite a chunk of it on Switch, and I think I know exactly why everyone loves this game so much. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is a remake of the GameCube-era 3D platformer Battle for Bikini Bottom. Its gameplay is fairly true to form for the genre and is often compared to Super Mario 64, as you need enough collectibles to move on to later levels, but instead of collecting stars, you're collecting golden spatulas because SpongeBob. Each of the 10 levels offer up a number of different missions to complete, and there are a slew of collectibles scattered around each map to help fill in the open space and keep you busy. And SpongeBob isn't alone on this journey either, as you're able to play as his pals Patrick and Sandy too, who each have their own unique abilities that are required to complete different missions. Patrick, for example, has the ability to pick up and throw heavy objects, and Sandy can use her lasso to hover across large gaps that the other two wouldn't be able to make it over. As for the story, a robot army has been let loose on Bikini Bottom by a particularly tiny evildoer, and it's up to SpongeBob and his pals to save the day. Each level is usually themed around someone or something getting thrashed by said robots, but it's a generic enough plot that left the developers with a lot of creative freedom and makes for some super interesting and usually pretty hilarious moments with the cast of the show, like Mr. Krabs, Mrs. Puff, Squidward, and even Bubble Buddy. SpongeBob's absolute cluelessness shines brightly during every conversation, and it's something even non-SpongeBob fans can appreciate. I absolutely love how annoyed Bubble Buddy gets with SpongeBob, even though you can tell they're great friends. Sometimes SpongeBob just throws off Bubble Buddy and he just doesn't know what to say.
And somebody put a golden spatula on the top.
If I had a castle, I'd name it Fort Pattytown III, and Fort Pattytown III would have a big bake sale every Monday.
The golden spatula?
Most of the original voice actors from the show voiced their respective characters in the game as well. Levels cover many of the iconic backdrops of the show, like Jellyfish Fields, downtown Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob's house, the Flying Dutchman's graveyard, and many more places. Fans of the show will feel right at home with its areas and will find subtle Easter eggs and direct references to the show scattered all about. And yes, the iconic moment of dehydrated SpongeBob in Sandy's dome is also still here. Even if he doesn't think so, that boy needs some water. SpongeBob also has a ton of idle animations if you let the controller sit, where he does the little, like, chicken thing that's a meme. I don't like it. It weirds me out, but I'm really glad the developers put it in there. Now, I've mentioned on the channel before that I used to work for a game shop, a local shop near me for many, many years, and people were always coming in looking for this game in particular, and not other SpongeBob games, just Battle for Bikini Bottom, and I always found it very odd. But since I had never played it, I never truly understood why. But now after playing the new Rehydrated remake, I can see that it's essentially the closest thing that some people could get to Super Mario 64 on rival platforms. But not only that, it's a fun platformer with a lot of charm and character soaked into it. Literally soaked. Its humor translates so well from the show, and you can tell that the developers, the original developers, Heavy Iron Studio and Purple Lamp Games, have put in a ton of extra work to make this SpongeBob game more than just another game. They wanted to make it something special. So from what I can tell, it seems like the overwhelming love for Battle for Bikini Bottom is likely a mix of nostalgia, its faithful writing, and its solid attempt at being a competent 3D platformer. Being a fan of SpongeBob will definitely raise your enjoyment levels higher than someone who potentially isn't. But that's not to say that you have to be a fan of SpongeBob to enjoy this game either. And if you are a fan of platformers, it might be a good idea to keep your eyes on SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated when it releases on June 23rd on Switch. Feel free to let us know in the comments down below if you grew up playing the original Battle for Bikini Bottom, or if you're planning to pick up this new copy and play it again, or play it for the first time, or maybe share it with your kids. There's tons of reasons to be excited for this new remake. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this, then why don't you get up to some nautical nonsense by clicking that subscribe button, and then ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we release new videos. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Zian from Nintendo Life. Stay safe out there, and we will see you next time.